Well, moving on now to Nigerian market. Well, Nigerian Stock Exchange All Share Index today rose to 39,745.32 points, taking up 0.46%. The Bourse was lifted by gains seen in stocks such as Guinness, Julius Berger and Ashaka Cement. Well, to discuss the key drivers of the markets and the outlook for stocks, joining me to discuss this is Baba Ibrahim. He's Managing Director at Mainstreet Bank Securities. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
Now, the market is up marginally 0.46% to 39,745, like you heard. Well, let's get an overview on how the market fared today.
Yeah, well, the market did look up today, and it's driven mostly by the key conglomerate stock. You know, we saw Nestle trading up, like you just said. Yeah, we equally saw Guinness shutting up to as high as 188. You know, and a couple of other stock equally shut up the position. You know, as we speak.
All right, then. Well, now let's look at Dangote Cement. Now, it traded significantly today. I mean, a volume of about 256 million, valued at 45 billion naira. Talk us through what, spurred the activities in this space.
Well, what you saw there is simply a divestment strategy, given the fact that this was a stock that was listed at 135, a couple of months down the line. And at 179, which it was negotiated at, I think that's a very good deal for Dangote. You need to take profit from time to time and all that. That's clearly what he has just done. And, kind of trying to spread ownership as well. I think it's a good strategy if you ask me. And it's a welcome development to the market. I think we should see more of this from time to time.
Now, well, staying with the building materials sector, it was kind of split evenly today. I mean, we saw Dangote Cement was flat. We saw a large volume traded in that stock, whereas Ashaka Cement gained 5.5% to close at 28 naira 50 kobo. That's the highest point year to date. Now, for an investor's, point of view, from investors' point of view rather, where do you see that stock going? Is it too late for investors to take position?
No, it's not. It's not too late. If you look at the full year result of Ashaka, it's quite remarkable. Notwithstanding the fact that they gave a dividend of 1 naira full year, I think that people are buying into the future. Ashaka still has a lot of mileage to run through. I think quite clearly that stock will run 35 naira in the next 1 or 2 months. It still has a lot of capacity to move high up. The results are good. The management, are trying to turn around the fortune of the company. Notwithstanding the issues that are coming around in the northern part of the country, I think they have the future to go with it.
All right, then I guess Ashaka Cement is a stock to look forward to. Well, let's look at the banking sector now. It was skewed rather to the sell side last week. I mean, with more losses than gains at the close of the session last week. You had Union Bank was the top gainer in the banking sector, closing with a 15.5% markup. We saw a continuous surge in Union Bank. It increased 10% today again. What's your take on this stock?
Quite clearly, Union Bank is a cracker. It's been a toast in the market from the past 1 year. It's before the crisis, quote unquote, it was trading low below 6-7 naira. As we speak, it's on 14.38, closing today. And if you look at the full year result as of 2012, it did a run from I think 107 loss to well over 9 billion profit, and its Q1 trajectory is quite remarkable. I think a lot of people are seeing value, saying renewed initiative and strategy in that bank, and that's why they're taking position. I think that bank still has a mileage to run through, given the fact that it's outstanding. It's quite very little, So Union Bank, I think, is going to produce a lot of sterling results down the line.
All right then. Well, let's look at the consumer stock, right? The consumer space, rather. It has experienced a lot of attention lately. We saw Nestle reach highs of 1,075 naira. The stock also gained 529% year to date. Yeah. While Nigerian breweries, on the other side, reached a high of 178 naira. Now, that stock gained about 20% year to date. Where both stock, however, declined marginally today.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the trajectory of Nestle Nigerian beer, as the case may be, Nestle has actually grown very, remarkably over the period. What we're seeing here right now at 1,075 naira is a year-to-date high. Even the history of the stock, it has not grown this much. And I think that in terms of market cap too, it's on the second or third. After Dangote Cement. Nestle has a lot of brands running through it. The same goes with Nigerian breweries. Notwithstanding the fact that their dividend policy is not been so remarkable, I think that with the pronouncement from Nigerian breweries, they're likely going to pay 60% of their earnings, as dividend. That is quite reaching, for the market, and we should see the market reacting, towards that, down the Q2 space, All
right then. We're now still on the consumer stock. Let's talk more on Dangote Sugar. It gained 7.9% today. Yeah. trading at an all-year high of 11 naira 60 kobo. Now, it has gained about 22% in the space of 1 week. Can we continue to anticipate this upward, sir?
Oh yeah. Dangote Sugar has actually, been able to come up with very innovative, product line, and they've been able to come up with a lot of backward integration strategy, such that they'll be able to source material very, the low cost, and be able to build the low cost, operating expenses. I think that Dangote Sugar is a stock to watch. At this current price, it doesn't look like it's low enough. It's still likely going to go high up. But it's not going to be, a one-stop, approach. It's going to be in and out. But I see Dangote Sugar still running high up. The market they are playing in is quite robust. It's a consumer product. Everybody needs sugar, and we have the population to drive the business. So I think that that brand will not go wrong, and that's why it's doing remarkably well too.
All right. Well, just before you go, let's take a look at your stock picks for the week.
Yeah, my stock pick for the week still remains. I think Skybox is going to go up. First Bank is beginning to show sign of recovery. I see First Bank running well over 20. I see Fidelity Bank too coming up. Access Bank kind of did a dip. Access Bank should go back around to 12 naira, down up, and definitely we see the Dangote Sugar still running high up to as I speak.
All right,